What causes spinal nerve root compression? There are 31 pairs of spinal nerves that exit from the spinal cord through the bones of your spine. Nerve root compression, also known as radiculopathy, is when one of these nerve roots are being compressed or exposed to uneven pressure or tension, and as a result, they become impinged, irritated, and potentially can lead to some symptoms. Some common causes of this type of problem could include bone malalignment or misalignment, disc herniation, stenosis, bone spurs, and other spinal conditions like kyphosis, scoliosis, lordosis. Now, when we look at nerve root compression, the spine consists of vertebrae stacked upon one another, and they're separated by intervertebral discs. So the easiest way to understand if a nerve could be compressed, if one of these bones moves out of alignment and it starts to affect a nerve in a negative way. This is either by direct compression or tension that's being experienced by the nerve root. This affects the nerve from functioning properly, which can lead to symptoms. In addition, once the spine shifts out of alignment, it can start to affect the discs. And these discs can start to bulge or herniate, which causes these discs now to press on the nerves as well. And these discs now can start to compress on these nerves, leading to types of symptoms and pain. The difference between a disc bulge and a disc herniation is just the degree of severity. Bulges are just when the discs are bulging out of their alignment, where herniation is where the center of the disc has actually ripped through the outer layer and is now compressing on different nerve tissues. One way of understanding nerve root compression is understanding a term called spinal stenosis. Spinal stenosis involves the narrowing of the spinal canal. And this narrowing can be occurred for many different reasons. And this is when there's less space within the spinal canal and the nerves, and these nerves become impinged and compressed. This can happen, like I mentioned, for alignment or disc issues, but one other thing is something called bone spurs. Now, bone spurs are overgrowths of the bone that commonly develop as a result of misalignment over time. Though another way of calling bone spurs is arthritis. Arthritis is normally not a disease that you would catch. This type of arthritis is normally a result of wear and tear. And this wear and tear normally is accelerated by misalignment. And this typically occurs where bones meet the joints. And as these bones come together between these discs, these bone spurs can develop within the spine, and this extra bone can encroach in the space within the nerve tissue. And this can cause them to affect the way these nerves function. So when you combine all these things, misalignment, disc degeneration, and bone spurs, and they're all not aligned properly, the spacing becomes more and more critical for these nerves, and it can lead to symptoms that are associated with nerve root compression. Now, some bigger problems could be something we call spinal deformities. Spinal deformities like kyphosis, scoliosis, hyperlordosis is when the spine has not only shift out of alignment segmentally or one bone relative to another, but it affects the entire composition of spinal alignment. Scoliosis specifically is when the spine bends and twists unnaturally. And once skeletal maturity has occurred, the scoliosis becomes compressive in nature, meaning it starts to compress down. And this exposes the spine, the surrounding tissues, and spinal nerves to be compressed, which can now lead to symptoms. And most of the time, with all the things that I mentioned previously, that these symptoms typically take time to develop. Unless the nerve root compression occurs from a significant injury at that moment, most of these things are chronically developed. And the reason why these nerves are very important, because these nerves are responsible for brain-body communication. Your brain is sending signals down your spinal cord, out these nerves, to every organ, every system, every cell, every tissue of your body, and they're also sending signals back up through these nerves, through your spinal cord to your brain. And your central nerve system, which is your brain and spinal cord, is what's responsible for all these body functions. So when you compress these nerve roots, they have a negative effect on function. It can definitely cause pain in the area that's being compressed. If it's in the cervical spine, it can be cervical pain, mid-back, low back, but it's not limited to that. It can lead to numbness and tingling throughout your extremities. It can lead to weakness, changes in mobility. It can also lead to changes in organ function if it remains compressed for a significant period of time. And the more damage that's associated, the more severe the effects would be. The health of the spine and the nerves or really something that we call brain-body communication. And the health of the nerve system, your central nerve system that runs through your spine, is really responsible for all functions. So disruption in the communication because of nerve compression can lead to very unpleasant effects and can lead to a wide variety of effects. Addressing nerve root compression at early stages is extremely important, and really addressing the underlying cause, because really the cause is what dictates what type of treatment plan that you would need and what type of care that you would possibly receive to help address this nerve root compression. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this information helpful. If you have any questions about this topic or other scoliosis questions, type in the comments below and let us know. And finally, subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified of when we publish new videos just like this.